tell you something, world. I am exhausted by all this noise about the coronavirus. Well, me and James here, we're here to bring you some good news. We got March Madness. It's gonna be exhilarating. Am I right, James?
Oh, I am ecstatic.
Some say it's not all it's cracked up to be. What do you think about that?
I have heard the same thing, and I'm here to tell you one thing. I am excruciatingly excited for this March Madness.
And here we have our Sweet 16 bracket, top 16 teams in the country, not top 64, because, well, for one, who really has time for that? And secondly, during this time of crisis, do we really want to be wasting eggs?
Sweet 16, let's get cracking.
Dayton versus BYU. Kansas versus Seton Hall. Florida State versus Oregon. San Diego State versus Duke. Kentucky versus Maryland. Creighton versus Michigan State. Baylor versus Villanova. Gonzaga versus Louisville.
Had a very exciting set of games here in the Sweet 16. Very just exquisite basketball. Andrew, what stood out the most to you in the first round of games?
The big things that I want to touch on here is, the BYU win. That was huge. BYU, that acronym's thrown out a lot. Nobody knows what it actually means.
I don't.
At school. But you know what? They were a 4 seed and they beat a 1 seed. Big time right there.
Big time.
Big time.
Big time.
That's excellent.
Excellent. To
The
go
next
along
thing
with
I wanna-
that.
touch
Yeah.
on it.
Oh,
Go ahead,
just to touch on it, Oregon, another number 4 seed,
Huge.
upset a 1 seed. They don't call it March Madness for nothing.
Oh, it's madness out there, isn't
Madness.
it, buddy? Madness. Okay, so Louisville. One thing that's spelled wrong.
The
It's
S is silent. I think.
Who did that? Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Somebody out there is loco, but excellent win by them. Absolutely exquisite.
What
That was-
what matchups are you looking forward to the most in the Elite Eight?
You know what? Duke.
Duke. Yeah.
Duke
Good team
is-
over there. Can never count out Coach K. They have an exquisite coach.
You know what? They're a prime example of the team I'd want to be one day.
Now let's take a look at the Elite Eight here. We got BYU and Duke battling for the East, Kansas and Maryland battling for the Midwest, Oregon versus Michigan State battling for the South, and Louisville versus Villanova battling for the West. Let's get down to it.
BYU versus Duke. Kansas versus Maryland. Oregon versus Michigan State. Louisville versus Villanova.
Man, Andrew, what an exciting Elite Eight. What game stood out to you the most?
You know what? The Michigan State game. Coach Izzo, his
Great
players
coach.
were exhausted.
Exhausted.
But did he not know exactly what to say?
Exactly.
He just kept motivating them, pushing them. You see that game? It was incredible.
Kansas, we came in this tournament, we said Kansas is going to win it all. They are the heavily favorited team. You know who had something to say?
Yeah?
Maryland. Maryland said, not in my house. Not in the NCAA tournament house. Not in the coronavirus house.
Let's take a look at the Final Four. It's a battle of the 3 seeds as we've got Duke taking on Villanova and Maryland taking on Michigan State. And it's Villanova versus Duke. And down goes Villanova! Now we have Maryland and Michigan State. And down goes Maryland!
James, here we are, back at it again. Michigan State, Duke, Coach K, Coach Izzo. What do you think?
Andrew, it's an exciting game, and I'm looking forward to Duke. Let's look at their run so far. San Diego State, poached, and then they run into BYU, scramble, and then lastly, they ran into Nova, cracked. And I'm liking their chances here against Michigan State.
Well, you gotta look at Michigan State, freaking yoked. That's a huge team you got ahead of you.
Yoked indeed, Andrew. Let's move along to the national championship game. And that concludes our NCAA March Madness event with a big win from Coach Isso's Michigan State Spartans.
Huge win. We love you guys. We miss you. And you know what? From quarantine here in Cary, North Carolina, good night.
Good night. Looking forward to having sports on soon.